Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again for another stimulus update. On this episode, we're going to give you some more information, including the fact that President Donald Trump is slated to sign this thing today and put it into law. Also, I'm going to give you a calendar breakdown of exactly when you can expect the money to hit your bank accounts. And Pelosi is getting more pushback because of the political games she played with this and basically the nonsense bill that they actually put together for you and me. But before I get there, check it out. It's riveting. Here it is. Last night, very late, the Senate approving this bill.
Wishing to vote or wishing to change their vote? If not in this vote, the yeas are 91, the nays are 7. The 60-vote threshold having been achieved, the motion to concur is agreed to.
Now, if you don't find that exciting, I don't know what is. I mean, that should just fire you up. Actually, it kind of went down the way I feel about this bill, like ho-hum, because it really is. I mean, they packed so many other things in there. Even though a lot of the terrible spending that's been put into this thing isn't contained within the economic relief portion, it is passed simply because of the economic relief portion, because if it went on its own, it would have gotten too many downvotes and wouldn't have gone through. It's almost like taking a trip in your car when you have legitimate things to do. You have real errands to run. You got to go to the post office. You got to go to the DMV. You got to help somebody out. You got to get real stuff done. You got to spend your time and your money in excellent ways. But then all of a sudden you take a trip over to the McDonald's, you go through the drive-thru, you get a number one, you get a little milkshake, and you say, well, wait a second, I did all of this other good stuff. That was separate. That bad thing I did, that was separate from the good things I did, but technically it was a part of the same road trip. And you already knew in your mind, I'm going to do all these good things, but I'm also going to make a pit stop over here. That's why the economic relief bill was attached to the federal spending, so they could do all that bad stuff, but then make it look like they attached something really good to it. I don't want to get everyone lost here, but just know this. Your politicians packed into these thousands of pages a lot of extra spending for a lot of other things that American people, the American working family, you and me, should not be putting our money into. But with that said, let's now focus on the economic relief portion of this. President Donald Trump is in fact going to sign this thing today. At least he is slated to. I mean, there could be some sort of a crazy thing that happens and he signs it tomorrow, but it's slated for today. After he signs it, when are you going to see the money hit your account? Well, here is the calendar. According to Steven Mnuchin, he said that the payments are going to start going out as early as next week. So looking at the calendar, we can see that Congress passed it on the 21st. President Donald Trump's going to sign it today on the 22nd. Steven Mnuchin says as early as next week. If we look at the past precedent of when the money hit the accounts from the previous stimulus bill, it was on Tuesdays. Tuesday seems to be like the day that the government loves to do this. So that would be the 29th of December. According to Steven Mnuchin, and he said next week. So we're going to give him a nice arrow all the way through the rest of the week. So you may, in fact, see it then. I think that's a little ambitious. So I'm going to switch over to the January 21st calendar because a lot of economic experts and some other individuals, including myself, believe that maybe next week is too ambitious. However, they do have the entire system in place to actually get this money out fairly quickly. So I believe that you will see the money in your accounts either probably the 5th or the 12th. And I'm putting those arrows there because throughout that entire week is when it might funnel into each of the accounts depending on what goes on. Now, of course, the government never does everything correctly, and there's going to be lots of problems, and those problems might occur with specific groups of people. That's why I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel, because as the problems arise, we will instruct you on how to handle them. We will help you navigate to the different place you need to go to fill out the information you need to fill out or whatnot, or try to give you the help you need when you don't see the money in your account and you're wondering what to do. That's a good thing to have a community like this that can all gather together. Plus, you're going to read stuff in the comment section. I do foresee, though, it's not going to be as big of a deal as it was last time because a lot of the issues should have been figured out. In addition, and I think this is big news, Nancy Pelosi is getting a ton of pushback right now because of the political game she played. And now, I know a lot of people out there are saying, Vin, you keep going on Nancy Pelosi. She absolutely deserves this. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. Doesn't bother me a bit. I have my own values. I know all of you out there do as well. But it doesn't matter where you stand on the political spectrum. Nancy Pelosi really should no longer be serving in any political arena anywhere. She played so many games in this. It's disgusting. And I have been talking about that ever since the $1.9 trillion that Steve Mnuchin and Donald Trump offered her. And Mitch McConnell said he would put it to the Senate floor. At the end of the day, Mitch McConnell maybe wouldn't have voted for it. Maybe the Senate wouldn't have voted for it, but he said, I will put it on the Senate floor. Nancy Pelosi played games. She looked into the camera and told you, this bill is no good. I can't vote for this. Nothing is better than this. And now she's voting for a $900 billion bill that helps out the American people far less. It's attached to the government spending, which has all this other ridiculous stuff in it. And now many even far, far left liberals are coming out against her. This is from the Young Turks. Now, if you're familiar with the Young Turks, this was from Anna Kasparian. They are very far left, and most of the time they are in complete lockstep agreement with what Nancy Pelosi and many of the far left do. But in this case, even they are calling her out. This is a quote from Anna Kasparian. She said, Pelosi made a purely political calculation prior to the election, and that calculation was to turn down a more robust relief package that was being proposed by the White House because she knew that there was a possibility it would help Donald Trump's chances of getting reelected. That's what it's really about at the end of the day, and that's the reason why she decided to reject that package and then immediately sign on to this slim package, this skinny package that doesn't give Americans the relief they absolutely need. I understand the risk in doing what I think would have been the right thing, in signing on to the original relief package. But when you consider the devastation that Americans are facing right now, you understand the weight of the issue. And although I normally almost never agree with Anna Kasparian and the politics of the very, very far left Young Turks, I agree here because there are Americans who are going through some of the worst times that they have ever had. I mean, Americans who have lost jobs, kids are suffering. And when we pass bills like this, yes, it increases our debt and it increases our taxes and all the rest, but they're designed to help Americans and the Americans who are in need during those difficult periods in which it's needed, especially when our government is basically at fault for shutting businesses down. See, it's one thing when individuals make poor decisions on their own, and because of their own poor decisions, they put themselves in a bad spot. Yes, they need help. Yes, they need a hand up and they need to get themselves back in a place that's good. But we are in a situation now where many Americans didn't even make that choice. It was made for them and it was forced upon them, which is why I am in agreement with helping out Americans during this time. But we need to be helping out Americans. We need to be getting money to the American people. Enough money to help them out, rather than taking a lot of this money and throwing it out to other things where it is not needed. I'm glad that many small businesses are getting help, but too many big businesses are getting the handouts that they don't actually need right now. They can figure things out on their own. There's tons of programs for big businesses out there to take advantage of. The small businesses need help. I'm glad that Americans individually are getting $600 and $600 for their kids' independence, but $600 for many of these people is simply not enough. And there's so much money that's being funneled to other places that could be funneled to the American individual. Nancy Pelosi had a package on her desk at $1.9 trillion 2 months ago, and she rejected it and looked you straight in the face and said, the reason I'm rejecting this is because it's no good for you. It is not enough, and nothing is better than this garbage that Stephen Mnuchin and Donald Trump are putting on my desk right now. Then she walked away from the camera, and then she laughed it off with Chuck Schumer, and she really said, yeah, right, like we're going to pass this thing. This is going to only help out President Donald Trump. Yeah, it helps out the American people a lot, but there is no way I'm going to pass this right now. 2 months later, she gets a $900 billion skinny bill that helps out Americans a lot less, funnels money a lot less to where it's needed, and then it's attached to a big spending bill that funnels money to all kinds of different places, and she says, yeah, of course we'll take that. And then she'll come out on camera and she'll tell you guys, oh, this one's better. The wording is better. And those people who just love Nancy Pelosi will suck it up and say, well, the wording is better on this one. Yeah, right. It's better on this one. It's not. There's some things that are more targeted here that I like. I get that. But the amount of help that American people are getting in this one, it's not even close to better than the bill that was offered to her a couple of months ago. She'll come out and she'll tell you straight into your face, we're going to to work on a new bill in 2021. That's why we were okay passing this one. If you're going to work on a new bill in 2021, why not just pass the one that was from 2 months ago? Well, we need to get through the election first. Well, if you don't get both Democrats to win in Georgia, you're not going to get a new bill anyway. So you're basically lying to the American people if that doesn't happen. As far as I'm concerned, this is a big enough story to share with you because Nancy Pelosi doesn't deserve a position anymore. Now, I get it. If you are on the liberal spectrum of things, and that's one of the beautiful things about this channel, is we have about a 50-50 split here, okay? Not so much on my other channel. On my other channel, it's much more towards the direction of the ideological values that I hold, that I believe are the right direction to go. But here, not so much. I don't try to go too much with my ideological values. But I will tell you, no matter what side you stand on, Nancy Pelosi handled this thing in a very terrible and disgusting way. And I understand many people who come out against Mitch McConnell and say it's Mitch McConnell's fault. He wouldn't have voted for it. I get that. Maybe he wouldn't have voted for it, but he would have put it to the Senate floor. And even if he didn't vote for it, it wouldn't have been for purely political reasons. Like, we don't want to vote for it because this is going to help out Nancy Pelosi. He wouldn't have voted for it because he didn't want to spend $1.9 trillion. That's not purely political. He's doing that because he thinks it's fiscally responsible. Now, I also am not dumb enough to think he's only doing it for fiscal responsibility. Surely there's some political reasons as well, but it's not purely political. What Nancy Pelosi did in rejecting that $1.9 trillion deal 2 months ago was 100% entirely political. She only did it because she wanted to hurt Donald Trump, and she thought by passing a bill that was exceptionally good for the American people and detached from the government spending bill would have helped him out way too much. And so she told you she was doing it for other reasons, but in fact, that's what she was doing it for. And even the far left, young Turks are calling her out for it. So she's getting called out along the entire spectrum. And that's why hundreds of Democrats were signing letters to Nancy Pelosi 2 months ago, pleading with her to please pass this bill. And she didn't. And Nancy Pelosi's decisions are literally going to take food out of the mouths of people who need it. She's taking thousands of dollars out of the hands of Americans who really needed that help. And $1,000 might not seem like much to some of you, but a few $1,000s can be the difference between paying a bill off or having heat in the house or having a good meal at home when your job was taken away from you. And Nancy Pelosi, with her rich mansion that she lives in and her tons of ice cream in her freezer, decided it was better to play the political game than actually give the American people the help that they needed. And that's exactly what she did to you. And she's lying into the face of the Americans right now by saying that this thing is better, because it is in fact not better. And I think it's important for everyone to know that. To me, it's terrible that she's still even in office. To me, it's terrible that people don't acknowledge this. I still have people commenting on my thread somehow, even when everybody's against this, every Democrat's against it, even far left groups are against it, far right groups are against it, centrist individuals are against it. Everyone can see through the terribleness that was done to the American people. Will still say, well, Pelosi did it just because for whatever reason you just want to do that. I find it stunning. It doesn't mean I'm totally for Mitch McConnell. That's not what I'm saying. I get the other side too, but it was in her court. It was on her end to make the decision. She was being presented the bill by Mnuchin and Trump, and she decided to look you in the face and for purely political reasons, reject it, take thousands of dollars out of your pocket. If you are unemployed right now, she took thousands of dollars out of your pocket. If you have kids, she took thousands of dollars out of your pocket. Dependents right now are up in the air. Adult dependents, kids dependents. What's going to happen with that? Thousands of dollars out of those pockets, and she did it for political reasons. I know I'm harping on this for a long time, but you know what? A lot of people comment, why are these people still in office? Why are these people? Maybe because nobody talks about it enough. Maybe because nobody breaks it down for the American people the way that they need to hear it, and they just accept everything that's going on. So anyway, I figured I would share this with you. I know I'm going a little long-winded right now, and the thing that most of you care about is probably, well, when can that money come in? And like I said, expect it in the first half of January, either the 5th of January or the 12th of January, sometime during that week. And if special things change up for those of you that are on Social Security or SSI, or if you're a veteran or survivor, RRB, or even a regular taxpayer, or maybe you're not a taxpayer because you earn under a certain amount, if there's certain changes that occur, we will keep you up to date here and continue to give you the information you need to know, and we will help funnel you to the resources, to the places, the websites you need to go to if that does come up. We will continue to keep you guys up to date. I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I will catch you next time.